All right, so it is Friday, March 19th. We are midday in the markets right now. Everything's kind of flat. I mean, there's not a lot of things breaking out. Haven't been a lot of things breaking out this week. Kind of just been a stagnant up, down, seesaw action kind of week. Positions have been getting stopped out pretty quick. Some of the relative strength stocks that we were in, or I was in, took some time to work out, but still ended up getting stopped out of it and then them moving higher. It's the unexpected volatility in this market right now. We just really can't stay on top of it too much or be overly active. Right now, I really expected this to happen. Break out of that 394, move a little higher, and then pull right back down to this trend line around 384, 385. The market's not crashing. Nothing like that's happening. We're probably going to move lower, to be honest. So right now is the perfect time to be very specific in what you're trading. I'm moving more towards short term, like extremely short term, maybe just a couple days, if not a couple day trades every week, versus longer term, couple week swing trades that I'm really used to placing. So that's the hardest thing about trading right now, is adapting to this new market. It's not trending higher like it has been the past few months. It's kind of stagnant right now. It's kind of just hanging out at highs, not moving anywhere specific. The moving averages kind of just hanging out, not doing a lot. Excuse me. It's kind of one of those situations where, could we go higher? Yeah, absolutely. But could we go lower? Absolutely. 50-50 shot, which is unfortunate because there's no edge really right now. I mean, a lot of the stocks I saw yesterday were looking like they were setting up, got pulled down this morning, and then started moving higher today. So we'll check a few of those out after I show kind of what we're doing in the markets right now. So on the daily for the SPY, stuck in between this 380 to 395 range. We could even say upwards of 400 if we can maintain that all-time high. We look at the weekly. We are still really extended. We could just move a little higher, cause this to tighten up a little more before we break out in a real trend. I mean, not a real trend, a real breakout, something with a lot more power, give us a lot more strength to move higher. But it's all possible. 380 is still a solid support. We could just bounce down to there, keep bouncing between those levels. Thing we really want to watch out for is super high volume on these down days. Like right here, that's a big difference, big flag right now. So we got bought up through 380, but if we would have closed below this support level, it would have been a pretty big red flag. Sorry. So we'll take out the diamonds, the Dow Jones Industrial Average right now. This thing is just ripping higher and higher and higher and higher. 30 biggest stocks in the U.S. 331, I'd say, is the resistance level. 330. We're probably going to head back down to 320, bounce off support for a little bit. They're just super extended right now. You can't just have that straight up move without having a little bit of a pullback. Weekly looks good, still 320 support level. If you have any names, if you're trading the diamonds, the Dow Jones, go ahead. I would take profit, to be honest. If it's that extended, it's probably going to head lower next week, depending on what news comes out over the weekend. But always prepare to take those profits. The small caps were lower yesterday and this morning. Looks like they got bought up for the week, but still sitting below resistance. Might turn that into support if it can move a little bit higher, but still everything is really stuck in a range right now. So I'm going to be looking for trades to really place right around 215 if we can get to that level, and then start selling them when the IWM is closer to 230. All right, and we'll take out the Qs, the Nasdaq real quick. Tech heavy. It was led. The bounce this morning was really led by the tech sector, and this thing is really leading a lot of what you're seeing in the market right now. Stuck between this range of 300, 325. Been talking about this for the past few weeks. Playing off these moving averages, it's making, if we can move higher next week, make a couple days higher, that's gonna give us a lot of bullish analysis, a lot of bullish bias, because you want lower highs or higher lows, I'm sorry, when this index is moving up. Breakout of 325 with a lot of volume, tech will be back in business. Still kind of bearish on overall big tech sector, mega caps and things like that, but that's not really what we trade. All right, so kind of a bit of a trade review of what I traded last week. MDT was a big one, got stopped out this morning, but I'm not ashamed of it, did everything right. It got bought up very quickly. I had a stop loss right under 117, and it just got triggered with today's downturn in the overall indices. And then could it go higher? I think it will. When it gets a little closer to that 120 breakout, I'll look more into that. But until then, it's kind of off my list for now. Not really too focused on it. TEL, this one was in, got stopped out this morning. I did take a lot of profit in this name, so I'm not upset with that. I got in pretty early, around 130. I took a lot of profits the prior few days ago, around 133, 134. Traded around that number for the day. Had about 100 shares left, I think, this morning. 50 to 100 shares left this morning, and then just let those get stopped out. Still took profit, a lot of profit on this stock. If we can move higher through 135, break through this resistance next, that trade will be on. Let's see, Ash. I took a lot of profits in this name a few days back. Break of 87, took it all the way up to 90. Started taking profits in that. Left about half on the table and got stopped out on this massive red day. When I saw that, I knew I had to get out of that name because, it could turn 88 as support. It looks like that's what it's doing. But I wasn't going to stick around to really find out what its end game is going to be. All right, so a little bit of the list I have put together so far. One of the names that I'm in, I'm really hoping it does not break out today. Want it to wait till next week. If we can get a close between these support and resistance right now, I will be really happy. GRWG. This is looks like a growth company, distribution services for planting and horticulture and stuff like that. This is a really great chart. This thing was last year, low single digit numbers, lot of growth potential that happened last year up until the earlier part of this year. Consolidation occurring below 55. That's where I have my buy stop limit in. So if we get volume, a push higher, I will be looking to take profits around 60 and 65. But what I like about this chart is it has really all the features I enjoy in these kinds of names. They have the moving averages consolidating right under the price point, holding it up underneath the breakout level I'm looking to buy at. Risk is a little high at 5-point range, so I'd have to set my stop loss about 2.5 to 5 points. Really wanting it to move quickly so I won't have to worry too much about where I'm putting my stop loss. I can just move it straight to break even if we get enough volume. That's kind of why I want this to close between these without breaking out. Hopefully that's how today goes, and then we'll have another candle tomorrow on Monday and push higher. Overall, with growth and earnings, 2019 was a huge breakout year for this stock when it came to revenue. Same thing for quarterly, just great, consistent growth all around with revenue, net income, and profit margin percentage all pointing upwards. I know this QR code may be in the way a little bit, but that is for the group chat. If you'd like to join, go ahead and scan that. But as you can see, great incline, great growth potential. So definitely one I'm going to keep my eyes on. So we had a member point out this in our group chat, BLOK. It is an ETF. However, it is consolidating nicely right under this $60 level. A move higher could be great. It's really been moving higher a lot over the past year, and with cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and everything like that making its massive entrance into 2021, this is a good longer term hold for us. Easily just place a trade, use a wide stop loss on this, maybe 5-10 points, and just kind of let it round out over time. This would be one of those yearly rebalancing type of stocks I'd be looking into. Really longer term. Boot Barn, it is a retail stock, but it is consolidating nicely under 65.5. A lot of volume is going to need to be pushed this higher to give me some confidence that it's going to keep moving higher. See if I can get some other names in here. If anybody has any stocks they'd like me to check out, drop them in chat. I would be glad to take a look at it. SI, Silvergate Capital, another good one. I'm not sure if this is a SPAC or not. I didn't look too deeply into this one. I saw that earnings and revenue are looking pretty good. Q4 for them was really nice. Same pattern we saw on GRWG, with settling right under 165, 166. If we can get a breakout through that level, fantastic. Again, don't want anything to break out today. It's a Friday. I hate putting on new positions on Fridays because then you never know what's going to happen over the weekend. But really good, really wide range on this little flag we have here. So about 5-10 points. Looks like 10 points more likely. So smaller position sizing just to make sure we don't get wiped out in our account. Riot is another one. The only thing that bugs me about Riot is it's so far off of its highs. If we scroll back, let's actually go to the weekly, give us a little more room. It's done a lot of splits, and it's just really, really low on that split. I don't like trading stocks like this. However, this is a nice little pattern that I see here. Short term, quick play, nothing commitment wise. Move through 65, just about. Let me see. Yeah, see a nice move through 65 with heavy volume. But like I said, I mean, even if we wanted to hold it, March 31st in the next 2 weeks is going to be earnings, and we don't want to hold it through earnings anyway. So quick play, move it till 76, boom, get out of the trade, 10-point move on with your life. I already covered GRWG. Mara looks fantastic. One of the other names that is really high, really far off its highs. Don't want to bug this too much with a huge, massive move. You don't want to trail it for super long, unless that's something you're into. And I think the earnings aren't that great either. Yeah, we're still negative on earnings, net income, and profit margin. Profit margin really suffering. But it's a momentum stock. A lot of these new trades that are coming out this week that I've seen set up, volume has upticked incredibly. So seeing a lot of momentum trades here, bull flag, pennant, base breakouts, so keep an eye on those. This one's not a bad trade, not the cleanest chart pattern I've seen, but still possible for a move higher. Cassava Sciences. Now I have bad luck with biotech stocks. However, this one does look good through 63 if it can break through that high. It's had a lot of trouble in the past making its way through there, and plus we have earnings coming up in the next few weeks. Really far off highs, about 50% off of highs, so just another thing to keep an eye on. This is the stock I traded this morning, got out of it. I added 250 shares through 28. I was already in around 27. Took all my profits off the table this morning around 30 bucks, $29.5, $30. Short move. Didn't want to hold anything. Has earnings on Monday, so that's really why I got out of the trade. If there was no earnings on Monday, I could see myself holding half position size through the weekend. But earnings kind of ruins everything for me. I'm not really interested in seeing that happen. 500.com, WBAI. Again, another one, it's just a pure momentum play. Not much on the table for earnings or its revenue, but a nice move through 25. Great volume if we can get it. Boom. Looking good. Again, this is a pretty large candle for today. A nice inside day to the right would look good, but it's a nice base that's been forming for a minute. These guys looks like they've broken out. I scanned these yesterday. I put these in the watch list yesterday. This is a very brief watch list, but I mean, VUZI is just moving higher anyway, just regardless of the overall market. But this would have been a good one through 24. Never took it, just saw it. Nice setup. But if we get another bull flag, which they usually form on these momentum stocks off of this flagpole right here, this candle, if it moves sideways for a little while over the next few weeks, let's see another setup taking place. OCUL, the only thing that's keeping me from this stock is its balance sheet. Again, it's all negative. There's not a lot to really brag about with this stock, especially Q4 revenue and net income just tanked. Great technical pattern. Few more days, maybe a week more before this thing is really ready to break out of 21. But this is a runner. It can go higher. If you look back on its last breakout when it moved higher this whole time, if you just trace and track and trail on that 9-day moving average, you're going to be taking a lot of profit with you into the move higher. The close below that 9-day moving average would signal a sell order. So right up here, you would have gotten out close to 21.46 if you would have gotten in at one of these breakouts around $10. So 110% move if it would have caught, 105% move if it would have caught, but didn't happen. So we don't play ifs or I wonder if this could have happened or I hope this happened. If you caught it, you caught it. You didn't. But there's another move to be setting up around 21 on OCUL. CPSH, this is not even a good play. I just saw it. I'm actually going to remove this one. Gamble, not a great play. I'm going to move this one as well. These wicks are what worry me. This looks like it has a lot of overhead. And when you zoom out on the weekly, you see that it does have a lot of overhead. 50% off highs. Big breakout here, consolidating, and then just a massive drop back in 2017, coming into 2018. Traded pretty much flat, low volume this entire time. Super, super low volume this entire time. And then what these show you is people are selling. Like every time it pops up over 17, sellers just come in and flush the price down. Like there's nothing really. I mean, if you're trading 2.5 million to 4 million shares a day, and you're not able to break through 17, it doesn't show a lot of promise. If it was consolidating under that level, those upper wicks were smaller. I could see a possible trade on this, especially with this weekly chart. This bull flag looks very clean, very nice if those wicks were not there. Another thing that bugs me is the volume on this trade. So, and I think earnings, yeah, I mean, this is 2020. They lost a lot of revenue, net income. They're just kind of, I don't even know what they do. It looks like a gaming stock. Yeah, entertainment stock, esports. It could be if that's your sector you like to be in. But overall, not the best chart I've ever seen. ACRS, called this one out yesterday in our group chat, which is that QR code. If you scan that, you'll take you straight to our group chat. Called this one out through 25. Not a huge mover right now, but it looks like it could move higher. Income sheet does not look fantastic, but it's a lot better than some of the other ones I've seen in the therapeutics industry. Kind of just rounded out over the past few quarters. The thing I really like about this is that it is pretty consistent in its ability to consolidate and move higher. Consolidate, move higher. It's been showing a lot of constriction around these moving averages as well. It's not anywhere near its all-time highs, so it's not like a long-term investment for me. All-time highs is still 34. Better again than a lot of the names I've seen that are like, all-time highs are 400, 500 points up. But move higher through 25 could be a great, short-term 10-point swing. Block Amplify ETF blockchain. Just talked about this one earlier, but still long-term cyclical investment ETF that you could just, honestly, with ETFs, I don't even use stop losses. I just After the year is up, I will sell the ones that are gaining, and then I will buy the weaker ETFs in that lot. If you want more information on that, I'm going to start posting more about it in the group chat. Perry, not even a good chart, just kind of scanned it, saw it's consolidating, taking that off. QS, this is a big one as well. I think they're profitable. I lied, they're not profitable. They're very unprofitable. They're hemorrhaging money, but technical pattern looks good. Through 60 for maybe a quarter position. Even around these areas, we could just add small lots right there, breakout through 60, and then the real breakout's going to be through 67. 67, the only thing, again, like I don't like about this stock is it's 50% off highs. Doesn't give you a lot of probability. You have a lot of people who bought around 130, who bought that very last point, which you don't chase a stock, so you get stuck in it. And then when it started to fall, you have that mindset of, well, it has to come back up. It's going to come back up eventually. I'll be the first to tell you it does not have to come back up. That loss is going to sit there for a while. And then whenever this moves higher, you think you're going to get a great deal because you're in it early. But those people who are still holding their stocks, they want to get out break even. So they're just going to keep selling, pushing that stock lower. A little bit of trader psychology for you. So anything that's that high off its all-time highs, I really steer away from. But short-term play, it does have a little gap to fill up through 84. So you could do like a 10-point move, smaller position, tighter stop. Trail the stop loss every day, prior day of low. CAR did like this one a few days ago, right under 40, had some nice consolidation, but you can see it already broke out through 40. We're going to have another breakout possibly through 42 if it can form a little bit of consolidation and a bull flag to move higher through 42. GATO, don't like this one. Just talked about boot. FLGT. And then HUN, don't like this one just because it's so far off highs. But a really good example of what we're looking for in trades, GRWG, it's really close to its all-time highs. So there's not a lot of people selling above this name right now. So we get in this stock, put our stop loss in place. It looks like it's going to break out today. I'm not going to lie, and I'm not really happy about that. But if I get put in, I get put in. I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. So move higher, great, but with that all-time high, if it's approaching it for the second time, people are still going to want to get out of that trade. So the second attempt towards that level, I'm going to want to get out so I can take my profits where I need them. I'll probably hold on to a few shares just because the company is pretty profitable still. Again, guys, that's the watch list I have so far. If you have anything you want me to look at, just drop it in chat. Be glad to take a look at it for you. This stream is across 4 different platforms, so anybody out there, just go ahead and drop them in your chat. I should be able to receive it. This is last week's, this week's still, watch list I put together. So a lot of tech heavy names are hitting the downtrend and kind of crapping the market right now, but Google has been one that's kept its pattern so far. So it's still in this range between 2020 and 2120. And right now it's sitting at support. I'm not saying it's a buy right now because it's at support, but it is showing a nice little candle, a doji right here, usually meaning consolidation. Buyers are meeting sellers. Things are going well. And then it might move higher up towards that upper end of the range. Usually with these plays, I stay away from it until it breaks higher, but there is a possibility to trade from support up towards resistance and still taking profits where you want to. So buy here, sell here, and then if it breaks out, it breaks out. But you want to go with a really small position, and you still want to use a really tight stop loss right below this support level to make sure you're using smart risk management and it's not going to obliterate your account if it decides to drop, because this thing can drop very quickly for how volatile it is or how big it is. Charter, this one's still consolidating. It did break out of the 630 price point I had listed. It pulled right back to it. Would have stopped you out if you would have moved your stop loss up, but if you're still stop loss around 600, 610, you're still looking good. It still has the potential to move higher. It's a tech stock, but still. Etsy, still one of my favorite charts out there. It's kind of the one I just showed you, the GRWG. Similar chart pattern. This one actually had earnings that were, blew that quarter out of the water. 2020 just got blown out of the water with their earnings. Great profit margin, great revenue, you know, just like GRWG. Everything looks great and golden, looking fantastic for future growth. I don't know if they put out guidance on their earnings or not, but buy through 225, looking for heavy volume to push higher through there. Me personally, I would take it off the table around 250 just as it approaches at all-time highs, and then be done with it, and then wait for it to set up again, obviously. But this is a very nice pattern, very good stock. I don't know if anybody uses Etsy out there. I kind of like trading stocks I use as well. Etsy's pretty great. QRVO, another great name that's still probably going to make it to next week's watch list. It kind of broke out, not a super A+ setup now. I would probably move the stop loss higher, just kind of under these consolidation patterns right here as it moves through 180 again. Microsoft, kind of off the table right now. It was a 50-50 shot too, 1 versus 1 risk ratio, not a great trade to begin with. Especially with how much risk you'd be putting on going into this week's market. SYK, off the table. Nothing great about this stock right now, technically. Texas Instruments still looks good on consolidation. Maybe a move through 180 could be good, or wait for it to break through all-time highs. But 180 still looks pretty promising. Twitter, no. LBRDK, no. That... If it moves sideways a little longer, I could see it getting a little more traction. But as for now, I'm going to steer clear of that one. DAR, I traded this one a few weeks ago through 70. I actually got in around 67, and I sold right up here around 75, 76. Moved out of the trade before it could really move against me, and now it's consolidating. A support buy could be in place for DAR as it kind of consolidates after this big move. LLY, this one was on the list for a while. It broke 207, 208 multiple times. I had a lot of hope for this stock as it was really consolidating. I did not trade it except maybe one time, and I got stopped out, which usually happens with these kind of patterns. And then it gapped down and just kept moving lower. It just has a lot of free space now to kind of fall. If it's going to consolidate, it'll probably be around 180. Probably move to the 100-day moving average, if anything. Dollar Tree still looked good last few days ago, but with the consumer services and cyclicals getting hammered in the market this week, 109 level, probably not so valid anymore. It needs to move higher, consolidate a little more time, and then kind of move higher with some volume. It's a small little, it's a double pattern actually. You have a descending channel, and then right here it broke out around, broke out of that channel around 108 and then consolidated above the channel, which is super bullish. Would usually take that trade 10 out of 10. But with the market how it was, I was just a little more cautious this week, which luckily I was because that got stopped out. T-Mobile USA off the charts for now. Trimble, TEL off for trades right now. I mean, it could still move higher, but I'm going to play this one again when it gets closer to its all-time highs and get some more consolidation. It's still in its buy zone technically, but usually when I get stopped out of a trade, I kind of just take a step back and really think about what my position is doing and how my trades are working out. I got a lot of journaling to do this weekend and a lot more charts to go through. I've only gone through about 400 charts, so got about 2,000 left. ABEV, really, this is the one I took a loss on this week. I took a pretty decent loss. I took half of my position off at 110. Yeah, about 110. I had my stop loss under there. And then I left the rest stop loss at, break even. But what happened is it gapped down so far pre-market. Right when it opened, I got taken out for the rest of my shares and lost all my profit on this trade. It was probably about a $300 loss, just with how much it took out, but I still had some profit, so it kind of balanced out even. Nothing too crazy. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. So, move on to the next one. ABEV, it's off the tables for now too, by the way. I mean, it's obviously the chart's broken right now. There's no great pattern setting up. PLTR needs a lot more work towards 28 before it actually becomes a valid trade, and we can look into that one becoming a great swing. A lot of potential in this stock from what I understand. However, it's super far off highs. That breakout that it had through 28 last in January kind of set us up for failure with some of these breakouts going down the line with how far it is off highs. PayX, should have held on to this one. It's trending very well on that 9 moving average, but I took profits around 95 and walked away. Great stock, great breakout, still a little far from its 100 high. You can expect if it gets to 100, it'll pull back pretty severely. Just because 2 reasons. It's on its second attempt at 100, and 100 is a huge psychological level for traders. Still valid trade if you're in it. I would stay in it, keep my stop loss, probably move it up to 95. Just right under today's low. All right, let's see. MDT, that one kind of got me. AMP looks good through 230. I would like another day of consolidation before this one even tries to move further. This one, Williams-Sonoma was on my list a few weeks back through 132. Great pattern, great setup. Company has great earnings, great stocks. Income statement looks phenomenal. I mean, everything's growing at a rapid rate for this stock, for this company. Made new all-time highs yesterday and today, but that's due to its earnings. I do not hold stocks through earnings just because at that point it is pretty much a gamble depending on what they come out with. It could have easily gapped down 20 points versus gapping up 20 points. So you could easily be down and stuck in a trade you don't want to be in. All right, so that was for the week of 3/14. I'm going to kind of go back and look at my trades for the watch list of 3/7. We have a lot from 3/14 that transferred over. Again, guys, if you're just joining, go ahead and drop a ticker in chat if you want me to take a look at it. We're about to wrap this up in a couple minutes. URVO, 180. JB Hunt, not the best trade. Pattern setup. ESI, took that one through 1850. I was in around 1750 for a minor breakout. Got in super early, took profits around $19, $20, and then just, walked away from that trade. Hit 21, which was about a quarter or half of my profit target. But you can kind of see a pattern occur with what's going on in these trades. I mean, consolidation, upper right-hand corner, volume, and great earnings potential, done. AME does look good. It's a manufacturing stock. Earnings are kind of flat. Revenue's kind of flat. Nothing too special regarding this this company. But all-time high breakout through 126. Could get in around 124 for an early entry, but see how that one plays out. It needs a lot of volume to move higher at the bigger company. Carmax was a good trade through 124, took profits around 128, 130, and then walked away. Still looks like it's forming a pattern, move higher through 136. Smaller bull flag setup, but need a little more volume consolidation. Wait for those moving averages to catch up before a re-entry. You don't want to enter at this 136 half. Maybe around here through 135 would be a better idea if that was another trade. Probably put that one on this week's watch list just to see how that one pans out. DKNG, still a good one. Heavy consolidation under 74.5. If it can get a little bit more sideways, a few more days of consolidation, obviously that's the perfect setup if it could happen. And then maybe move through 73, I could see. Very plausible. Good company, great earnings. A lot of people got stopped out right here on this huge down day, just a couple days just ravaging the stock when the whole market was kind of dipping. Good trade, good company. All right, so that wraps up some of the stocks I'm looking at this week. If you're part of the group chat, I will drop the full watch list in chat probably Sunday morning, Sunday evening for you guys to take a look at. Again, if you want to be part of the group chat, go ahead and scan that QR code with your phone that's on screen, and we'll let you back in, or we'll let you in. All right, guys, that's it. See y'all later.